I'm glad you're here. In this video today, we're going to address your elbow pain. Whether you have golfer's elbow or tennis elbow or just whatever pain in your elbow, we're gonna hopefully fix it today. So with these exercises, all you're going to need is a hammer, yes, a hammer, and also a dumbbell. I have 5 pounds here, but feel free to grab 8 pounds, 3 pounds, whatever is best for you. So for these exercises, I would like you to do these at least 3 days a week, and then eventually you can go up to even 5 days a week or more. And we're going to do 3 sets of each of these exercises for 15 reps per arm. And what's nice about these is you don't really need a rest time because as one is working, the other is resting. All right, so let's hop into the first exercise. Your first exercise is going to be using the hammer and doing some elbow rotations. So what I like about the hammer is that you can adjust the intensity of it. So for example, the more I grab towards the hammer head or like more towards the middle, I have less intensity. If I need more intensity, I grab more towards the end away from the hammer head. So this first one, I'm going to start with the end. I have my elbow resting on a bench or a table. So my forearm is completely on the bench, my elbow is resting on the bench, but note how my hand is hanging off with the hammer. So this one's really simple. All you're going to do is rotate the hammer head down with gravity, come back to the start, and then rotate to the other side. That is 1 full rep. And then again, rotating to the first side, and then to the other side, 2 reps. And then you keep doing this for 15. After you get that 15, you're gonna switch hands and do it on the other side. So once you get your 15 on the opposite side, then you can switch back to the first side to start your second set. So also note with this one, I'm going very slow. I am pacing myself. I don't want to rush with this. I want to have the control with it. See how far you can go without flaring out the elbow. The elbow doesn't come off the bench. It doesn't scooch anywhere, but it stays fixed, going from side to side. Your next elbow exercise is very similar to the first one. The only difference is that we're going to have a straight arm instead of the bent arm. So I'm going to have the hammer again, so you can grab the end or grab the middle if you need less intensity, and extend the arm out about shoulder height. You can also place your other hand underneath the elbow, just as a reminder that you're not rotating the whole arm, especially the upper arm, but you're going to see if you can keep the rotation at the forearm as much as possible. So I like to make a little pedestal there, just as a reminder to keep that still. So again, I'm going to do the same thing, tilting to one side and then to the other, just slow rotations, back and forth. Again, your 15 reps. There and back equals 1 rep. And again, once you get your 15, swap sides. Nice and easy, keeping the rotation at the forearm. Watch your upper arm isn't rotating from side to side. That little hand there underneath the elbow keeps you a little bit more honest, making sure that elbow tip is staying in the same spot. Your next exercise is with strengthening the wrist. So it seems odd, but the wrist actually has a lot to do with your elbow pain. So we want to make sure that it's mobile and also strong. So this strengthening exercise helps out with that. So I have the end of the hammer again, and again, you can go towards the middle of the hammer if you'd like. But I have the elbow resting, the forearm stays put, so that doesn't go anywhere. I'm only moving at the wrist itself. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to let the hammer head drop. Note I'm bending at the wrist, not so much my elbow comes off the bench and stays fixed. So I'm just going to let my hammer drop as far as I can and then pull it back as far as I can, but not, again, not so much that my forearm comes off the bench. It stays planted down. So again, we're only moving at the wrist, forward and back. Again, taking your time, slow and controlled. Make sure you have a good grip the entire time. So watch that your thumb doesn't come undone or anything. It stays nice and wrapped and tight with that grip. So again, 15 total, and then switch to the other side. So if, for example, going all the way down and all the way back is 1 rep. And then going all the way down and back, 2 reps. Going all the way till you get to 15, and then again switching sides for your next set. Your next wrist strengthening exercise is your wrist lifts. So I have my palm face down with my dumbbell. Again, my elbow and forearm are completely resting on the bench. Again, the only movement is happening at the wrist joint itself. All you're going to do is pull the back of the hand up towards the elbow pit as much as you can. Really feel the squeeze in the forearm, and then control all the way down. Again, bending at the wrist. Watch the elbow again. Watch that the forearm doesn't lift off the bench. So only lifting at the wrist. So just revving back as much as you can and allow it to release down with control. Again, all these are with control. There's a little bit of a theme here. So once you get your 15 on that side, swap, do your 15 on the other. This is also an exercise you can do if you have a pair of dumbbells. You can do them at the same time. If you do them at the same time, you do want to rest in between. I would recommend at least 30 seconds, or I'm sorry, at most 30 seconds, at the least 20 seconds. So again, just that nice, slow, and controlled movement. Really enjoying that little forearm squeeze back here. Your final wrist strengthening exercise is very similar to the second one in that the palm is face up. So the second one we had the palm face down. This time we're just going to flip it over. So we want to drop the back of the hand all the way down, feeling a stretch on your forearm here, and then pull it back like you're trying to get the knuckles to the elbow, and then control back down to start. Don't release so much that the fingers start to let go. Keep a good grip on the weight, only bending at the wrist here. And then pulling back again, watching that the forearm doesn't come off the bench. It stays planted down. Just moving at the wrist, keeping a good grip, really enjoying that strong forearm there. See if we can get some Popeye arms, right? Get that good squeeze and control back down, always with the control. Once you have the 15, switch to the other side. Get a good flex in there and control back down. Again, if you have those two dumbbells, you can do them at the same time. Rest between each set for 20 to 30 seconds. Your next wrist strengthening exercise, again with the hammer, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. Instead of putting it in our grip, the normal hammer stance, I'm actually going to flip it around where the hammer is facing down. Then I'm going to straighten my arm. It's just going to stay by my side. Make sure you have a good grip here. You're going to let the hammer drop down as much as you can. This is only, again, just happening at the wrist. The elbow stays still. You're going to let it dip down as much as you can. Pull the hammer head towards the elbow as best as you can, not pulling the arm back. Everything stays there, just at the wrist. And then slowly release down to the start with control. Again, pulling back. Enjoy that little squeeze in there and slow control down. Don't release so far down that you lose the grip. Keep a good strong grip there. Pulling it back. And slowly release down, all at the wrist. You're going to feel it in the forearm. You might feel a little strain in the wrist. Just make sure it stays as a stretch. You don't want to go to the point of any pain or so much so that something else starts to move. So just nice and easy. Again, once you get your 15 reps there, you're going to swap to the other side. Nice and easy. And there you have it. There are your strengthening exercises for that elbow pain there, addressing the elbow, the forearms, and the wrist. If you would like more wrist mobility as well, which I would highly recommend, go ahead and check out my wrist mobility and stretches video, which I'll either tag in the description or it'll be somewhere on the screen over here. Thanks for watching.